we move to the game between Łukasz and Milena. Łukasz played black, Milena took white. This is a very, very interesting game, not only from a pure Go perspective, but from a psychological perspective. It starts with one Joseki, then another Joseki. This is all well played. Then the third Joseki, 3-3 invasion. White approaches black's shape. It's good to know this move as well. It makes it a bit more difficult for black. If black goes down to the second line, it's a bit better for white. And after this move, we can still put a lot of pressure on black's group with this kick. Now black doesn't even have much of a base. So this is an annoying play. And after this one, I was surprised to learn that jump actually it's possible to jump here, which is usually not the case when our opponent plays a shoulder hit. But now, how does it work? If white tries to destroy the shape, white cannot play here, of course. So white needs to play the other move. After which this doesn't work for black, it seems at first. At second, there might be actually a little bit of an agi. But maybe even without this agi, black can be satisfied by capturing white in a ladder. So it's possible apparently to jump. Now white jumped, then black played these exchanges, after which a normal move for white is to play here. If black jumps in, then we have a good continuation. And if black doesn't, then later this move also plays well with that knight's move and closing white's potential territory. And white plays elsewhere, which is a possibility. It's unclear for black where to play locally. If black cuts, then white can still get a lot on the side. And if black clamps, then white can counterattack. And if black jumps, then also it doesn't put much pressure on white. For now, black answers white's move and white goes out. I was surprised that white doesn't choose a usual Joseki. Why not? I don't think that this Joseki is badly suited for the current position, is it? Atari here. And the ladder works for white. White is happy about this, but maybe white was afraid that black has good ladder breakers. Actually, this is not a ladder breaker. White can connect. Here. Sometimes you can fight against a ladder breaker, you know. Here. Maybe. It's a good ladder breaker indeed. So maybe the direction of play for white is not ideal. So white chooses to go out. Push, a usual move locally is this one, after which white has liberty problem, so it's not easy for white to jump into black shape. But apparently now this top side is not very important, and that's what Łukasz thought when he simply connected, and white took the right side. Black goes out, splitting white, white jumps out, black pushes, white goes down. Yes, all makes sense. Black connects, which is maybe not necessarily needed because you can also play here, and if your opponent cuts, it's a terrible shape for them. So maybe white for now needs to play here. And do we need to necessarily connect? Maybe we can have nice life with these stones by jumping out, and if our opponent cuts, it's a very bad shape. And we will be happy to continue on the outside. So it's a solid move, but a bit slow. Not needed for now. White strengthens the shape, which I am also a bit doubtful about. Why do we need a stone here? Maybe it's better to continue there. Still, it's very difficult for black to attack the group. Black answers, aha. Why? Is it so big? Well, it is big, but also I am not sure who is the exchange good for. It's not necessarily good for white. Then white tries to pull a hand towards his stones. Black cuts, makes sense, a very big move. White connects, which is a little bit submissive because this move is beautiful. Though probably Milena didn't like that cut by black, which we can counter with an Atari though. The koi is unplayable for black because it is white who has threats on this board. And black doesn't have any. White can simply ignore. White connects, after which black can put pressure on white, and now this is a very big move. Instead, black connected. It's also a very, very big move. But unfortunately for white, when white plays here, black can descend, threatening to destroy all what white made, all what white built with this one. Yes, so, and it is also a very good move by itself. White would love to be in time to play these exchanges in center and then jump down, or maybe even jump down to here, unlike the game, right? Now we are entitled to jump down with this sharper move. So why didn't white do it? Was white afraid that black plays here? But then this is so big. Isn't it big enough? This is for white very easily 15 points, and for black it's a 5-point loss, so it's 20 points difference. Plus now these stones are very thin. They can be captured with one move, with one strike here. So black is basically forced to continue. 20 points difference, and here also a very big difference. I don't know, but if I was white, I think I would give it a try and play this Hane. White played this move instead, and now the game starts. Up to now, it was very well played. Maybe this move was slow. Maybe it was a wrong direction for white to play here and not to connect, but difficult to say. Also, the group was thin on the top side, so difficult to criticize. But I think that up to now, Łukasz played it very carefully. Basically with no mistakes. And the second part of the game starts slowly, or like the middle game starts, and it was a bit unclear what to play. Yes, we already talked that this is a big move, so maybe we should play here. Though, is it big enough? There are also other big moves. This one is huge. And for now, Łukasz fell a victim of, I think, tiredness, and he decided to play this move because it feels easy. It feels like, oh, we can just make a few points in center. White will certainly needs to answer. Let's do it. It can't be bad. We are simplifying the position. We have points in center. We are closer to finishing this difficult game where we don't know where to play. So yeah, like this we know where to play. A few points more cannot be bad, and then we descend. This was bad. This was quite a mistake because it's a big ajikeshi. It's better to descend first. Also, if we descend, it's less important to play these moves. We already talked that, well, if white plays there and gets maybe a Hane, who knows, then it might be very big to play a move on the top side. But if we start with this move, then already the top side is not very important. Black can create, well, 6 points there with the continuation which black played, maybe up to 8 points, let's say. And if white plays there, how much white gains? White doesn't gain anything. Black can destroy everything. So it's just 6 points for black in center, we could say. But black loses for good a possibility to attack white's group. And it seems to me that Łukasz kind of wanted to lose this possibility, because this possibility makes this game so difficult to think about. We don't know where the territory could be. There can be this weak group, but is it profitable for us to attack it? What can we gain on this attack? Unclear. Maybe we can gain, but maybe we can lose by leading white into the center and then not getting those few points which black got by playing here. So I think that this was a syndrome of tiredness, of wanting to simplify the game. But this was obviously simplifying it in white's favor. All right, black descends, white plays this huge move, even though this one is also very, very big. It looks like 20 points or 10 points in black's center, something like this, right? If black plays here and white continues, then later also this will be black's center, so it looks like black gains 7, 9 points, well, 10 points in center. And if white doesn't answer, then maybe black's gain is a bit more limited, but well, black can still, black can even threaten something of white. Maybe even black will have a few points here. So it looks close to 20 points. A very big move, maybe big enough to play it right now. But instead of playing here right now, black decided to answer to white's move, but didn't want to answer just like this. Wanted to be more severe and play here first. But this was not a good idea. White countered black's move, and now black was afraid to fight, apparently. So only now black answered, but then obviously this is a bad idea, because locally L3 is a good move for white. White wanted to play it anyway. It's a lot of points, and this invasion is only a loss. White can simply enclose it and gain a lot. Now white wanted to play actively like this and then capture black stone in the corner. This was a great idea, but it was wishful thinking, because black played here, and now white was afraid of this variation, so white blocked, but then it's very good for black. White only lost points with this move first and this move second. It was quite a few point loss. It's really bad to have these two exchanges. It was better to just play here than to make these two exchanges. Really, it was much better, because later there is this weakness in black's shape. Yeah, this was all very bad for white, and now black jumped in. All right, makes sense. White played this big move, but black missed how important this descent is. If we only look at it from the endgame perspective, then this is not so many points, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for white. And if black gets it, then in the future, not now, but in the future, this will be white center. So black gets additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, maybe 6 and 2/3, and there is also 1/3 difference there. So 14 points difference. 14 points is not so big. But after this move, there is a terrible weakness in white's shape. If white plays from the outside, then actually I think that white loses the capturing race. So white needs to answer from the inside, after which white is alive, good. But black can destroy white's shape completely on the outside, and this is very, very scary for white. So actually, if black plays here, white is likely to answer. So this is almost 14 points in center. Of course, not 14 points in center, because the move at h3 also has some value for white, but the value is very limited. It's at least 10 points in center. And, well, yeah, let's just play it. Our opponent will play here very soon. This move is as big as black's incursion into white's area with b15. These are both black's 20-point moves, something like this. Also, there was this very big move here, which was black's privilege, kinda. I think that white will not now play here and let black cut off those 2 stones. So unfortunate that black didn't get this in center, that in center, and only then here, to which white is now already likely to answer because there are no other big moves on the board. But black started with this move, which is not necessarily center, and white played another big move, yes. And then black plays this wedge, which is again a bit like not knowing what to do. Well, we already know that this was very important. And that move, okay, it might have a big continuation, though. I mean, it might be a lot, rather, I should say, it might be quite a gain in center, but white didn't agree this to be center, and white decided to strengthen the shape in an active manner. And now again, the syndrome of tiredness, and another syndrome, which is how to call it? Being scared of a seemingly unclear variation. This is a very common syndrome, especially among people who feel ahead. And I think that Łukasz might have felt ahead right now. It also happened to my opponent in the game which I managed to win on the Chinese League C. He was a Chinese professional, and still he fell a victim of that syndrome. You will see a review of that game in the newest European journal, so you can see how a Chinese professional falls a victim of the syndrome. Black didn't want to go out because then white can cut. And who knows, maybe these 2 stones die. What is other argument against going out? I think this is the only one. But then black can turn, white connects, black plays here, and obviously black is connected. There is nothing difficult here. It's enough to read a few moves ahead. Unless Łukasz read a few moves ahead and was afraid of this unreasonable play by Milena, which looks more unclear. I agree that it looks more unclear, but also if we see it on the board, we should rather agree that it looks unreasonable, doesn't it? Now black, let's say, attaches. Let's say black captures. Attaches. No way black might be afraid of dying with this group. And if black lives with it, then white gets neutral points, and black builds a group in the potential of white. So it's a complete loss for white, like this. It's not an unclear variation. But you might be scared because you don't really have 2 eyes yet. If you look at it right now, if you have it on the board, you shouldn't be scared of it for sure. If you are your opponent, then you should be scared of this variation. But black, no. Black is satisfied with this variation. It's the easiest victory for black. So an extension is the easiest victory because what will white do? Will white play here? Well, what is this? If white wants to attack black, maybe white could have started with this move. But of course, it would be very easy for black to protect the stones. So white needed to play from above and then to protect the shape. But white wanted to play it more actively, and black unfortunately let white do it. Of course, black should have extended, but black connected, and now white got certainly something which white didn't deserve. Now black goes in. Still, the biggest move on the board is this one. It's 10 points or 14 points in black center. White got it now very happily. Black plays this center move, and then this is very big, yes, of course. A huge center, because look, in the end of the game, it will look like this and this. So the difference in white's territory is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points, and black gains 1 point, 11 points in center. 11 points in center, really amazing move, almost as big as that one. But well, black shouldn't play this Hane Connect, threatening an 11 points in reverse center. Black should play here. If white plays this one, is it center? Okay, maybe it is center, but not a big problem. White needs to answer. If white doesn't answer, then it's a Pandora box for white. There will be a lot of trouble for sure. At least something like this. All right, black played that, and then 11 points in center. Yes, makes sense. The next push also makes sense, and then black pushes once more. But no, this push is a center for a future game. Later, it will be center for sure. For now, this was center because it threatened living, connecting the single stone, and also now connecting the single stone. But now the threat already becomes much smaller, so it is not enough for this stage of the game, but it is our privilege, and we don't need to hurry with it. We can play somewhere else. Here is a very big move. There is a very big move, and also here, or maybe like this if we are afraid of that move of white. It sent a beautiful move and then play here. Later, only later we will play this one. This was small. So again, a bit uncareful play by Łukasz. White turns, building a potential. Black continues, yes, makes sense. Then jump. Why jump? Why not two-space jump? Because we are scared, I believe that this is the reason, right? Maybe now the scare, how to say, the frightness is has a cause other than our reptile brain. Maybe yes. So let's jump columnly, one space. White tries to go in here. I mean to enclose black here. Yes, white managed, well played. And now actually the cut of white, or maybe it's not about this cut, just there is that agi in black shape which becomes active if black is enclosed. So black doesn't want to get enclosed also because white can get a lot in the center. So black tries to go out, not with this move because this would be very good for white, of course. So instead, black cuts here first, white plays Atari, and now, of course, black extends before playing Atari on the other side, right? We always extend because we don't want to give a ponuki to our opponent. It's common knowledge. We don't need to think about it. We just play it without any thinking. But it's already endgame. And in endgame, the usual knowledge of Go sometimes becomes not up to date. Now, if we extend, we only lose 2 more points or 4 more points, and there is nothing which we should be scared of in white's capture. This ponuki is not amazing. I think that white will anyway play this move to keep a possibility of playing Hane. If white plays like this, then black destroys white's potential with a beautiful stick which goes into white's area in a very disgusting manner. So really, white is likely to play this connection, and then of course we would prefer to have that possibility and not lose 4 points with this move. So here black was really uncareful. And now this attachment, I don't understand. It is not center. So white played a big move now. There was also a big move there. So these are the only big moves, like here and maybe here. Also maybe this is big, but this is not big at all. So black played well the first stage of the game, the first 60 moves. It was also with no mistake. And then somehow the tiredness and not enough how to say, awareness or yeah, I think being not enough care, not careful in enough play, made black not advantageous anymore. Now the game is already probably better for white, and now black made the crucial mistake, which already shows a lot of tiredness. So black should have played like this, capture white stone, and say goodbye to that agi. White gets a few points in exchange, but of course we can continue to play this game. Maybe like this, and like that. But instead black pushed first, white played Atari, and now we need to connect, and it's already worse. It's already much worse than it was in the other variation. And moreover, black didn't connect. Why? I don't understand. Was black afraid of this Atari? This does not work. Was black afraid of a connection? If white connects, then black can play a double Atari. And now what can white do? Nothing. There is a weakness like this. Throw in. If now black connects, then it's terrible for black. All right. But black can simply capture. White plays Atari, but black says okay and gives away 4 stones, getting actually quite much elsewhere. So this was the way to go, for sure. But I don't know for what reason black didn't connect the 5 stones, and then it was game over. Now white's advantage is already very, very large. So that's how this game finished. It was, I think, more than 20 points for white in the end. Unfortunate, but I think that black needs to play more carefully, generally. And yeah, this way, if black learns to avoid mistakes which are below his level, then he should be able to win such games easily. All right, this is it about this game. Hello, Mati. Not sure when you said hello. By the way, we are back to the Polish language in a moment. This will be the last game from Group A.